phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
Deion Sanders has officially become the new head coach for Colorado after a very successful stint at Jackson State. For a little over a year now, Deion's name has been popping up at various coaching jobs on the FBS level as rumored to be a candidate for their job. Last year, nothing really ever came of it. He stayed at Jackson State as the work and the job, it wasn't over in Jackson, Mississippi. This year, the rumors started heating up a lot more. They heated up at Auburn, but nothing ever came of that, as it seems like he really wasn't ever a legit candidate for Auburn. But then you heard Colorado and USF, and it seemed like those had some real possibilities, and he's officially taken the jump to be the next head coach at Colorado. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the move for Deion Sanders to Colorado, and everything I feel like you need to know about it. Now before I move on, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Now let's get into it. To start off this video, I want to talk about Deion Sanders and his time at JSU. Before Deion Sanders became the coach at JSU, that JSU program, even though historic, it was not in the best place, and they needed some revival, and Deion was going to be that guy. And he hit every mark at Jackson State. His career record, 27-5. He won 2 SWAC titles, and in this current 2022 season, Jackson State is currently 12-0. They went undefeated. Everything he did on the field for JSU as a coach was great. He did some exemplary things. But what he did off the field for JSU football and HBCUs in general was also amazing, as he brought a lot of attention and a lot of eyes nationally to HBCU football. You got recruits that are considering schools in their top 10s, recruits who even went to HBCUs, and even more specifically JSU, top recruits in that flipping like Travis Hunter from Florida State to JSU as the #1 player in the class of 2022. That's not stuff you saw a few years ago, and now you can even catch a lot of the HBCU games on ESPN, and a few years ago, that may have been a completely different story. Deion completely changed the game. To transition talking about Deion and Colorado, I want to briefly talk about Colorado football these past 5 seasons. These past 5 seasons for Colorado, things have not necessarily gone the best. Their record is 19-35. Their current record in 2022 to finish off the season, 1-11. One of the worst offenses on the FBS level. One of the worst defenses as well. Overall, it just wasn't a good season. Terrible, in fact. A dumpster fire. They even had a number of players entering the portal mid-season to seek better opportunities. Now, to kind of expand more on the past 5 seasons, they've been to 1 bowl game. The Alamo Bowl, in the weird 2020 season in which they went 4-2. Now, in the Alamo Bowl, they played Texas, and they lost 55-23. And you can even expand looking at Colorado football, even the past couple decades. They haven't been great. Since the year 2000, they have been to a total of 6 bowl games. You look at it since 2010, they've been to 2, both the Alamo Bowl, and they lost both games. When you hear everything that I just said about Colorado football, you may be thinking that their program overall isn't the best, and that their football program overall is kind of bad, and that's just not true. Colorado football actually has some decent history at that. They have 19 conference championships and even have a national championship from 1990. One national title is a lot more than a lot of other programs on the FBS level can say for themselves. Now, yes, these past couple decades, they have not treated Colorado the best. But if there's someone that's going to change the way that Colorado football has been, especially over the last 5 years, I believe Deion Sanders can do just that. In this next part of the video, I'm going to be talking about what should we expect from Colorado football with Deion Sanders, not only now, but down the road. If you want to talk about Deion Sanders in Colorado football right now, I feel like you could really see various things happening quite fast. It's already been reported that Deion Sanders has already put together a number of staff to join him at Colorado, and we're already starting to see some people being hired as of right now, and it's already been reported that they're recruiting players in high school, and they're even talking to people that are entering the transfer portal. Everyone knows that Colorado's quarterback is going to be Deion's son, Shedeur Sanders, who was a highly coveted quarterback from the 21 class and absolutely put a showing for Jackson State in the 21 and 22 college football seasons, where in his career he has completed 68% of his passes, has thrown for 6,614 yards, 66 touchdowns to the air compared to 14 interceptions, and in this current 22 campaign is on a complete roll, completing 70% of his passes, has 3,383 yards, 36 touchdowns, compared to only 6 interceptions. I also feel like it's safe to say that Shedeur isn't going to be the only player from JSU that's going to follow to Colorado. I'm not saying that every player at JSU or even the best players at JSU are all going to follow Deion Sanders to Colorado, but I feel like it's pretty safe to say there's going to be a few of the most notable players from this year's Jackson State squad that will be a part of that Colorado football team in 2023. And all of that is really based off seeing what happens when a college football head coach leaves for another school, as a lot of the time, players will end up following. And as I just said, not everyone will follow the coach to their new school, but there's a guarantee that some of them will. Something else I feel like you should expect from Deion Sanders right now at Colorado is he's going to pull some flips. He's going to get some good transfers, and he's going to pull some moves you may not expect. We saw it all the time at JSU, and knowing that they're already hitting the portal and trying to pick up high school recruiting to finish off the 23 class for Colorado, you know that they're going to make some splashes, and they're going to get some good players, especially in the portal. The portal is going to be crazy this year, and I guarantee some people are going to want to be with Deion Sanders at Colorado. Now, the high school recruiting part is going to be interesting, as early signing day is just a couple weeks away, and national signing day is just a few months away. But if we know Deion Sanders, he can flip someone, even if you don't really expect it, up to the last minute, such as with Travis Hunter, who was an FSU commit on early signing day, flipping to JSU. In regards to down the road for Colorado, I feel like you can expect many big things with Deion Sanders, especially on the recruiting trail and on the field. I mean, we started seeing a lot of progress immediately with JSU, and I feel like we could see a similar takeoff at Colorado. This time, of course, they may be landing more bigger name recruits because it is a Power 5 school compared to an FCS school, but that's kind of the obvious. For the final part of this video, I'm going to be talking about realistic year one expectations for the Deion Sanders era for Colorado. There's going to be a lot of off-season hype for Colorado heading into 2023 with the new coaching hire of Deion Sanders, and that is expected. But with the hype that they're probably going to get, I feel like you also have to be realistic. I think that Colorado is going to improve a lot from 2022 to 2023. However, I wouldn't expect them to win the Pac-12, and that's just my opinion. I think they're going to be better, and of course, you can say right now it's too early to say realistic expectations before they flip some players on the high school ranks and even get a transfer portal class in. But in my opinion, I think they're going to flip some people and bring in a very good transfer portal class. But my realistic predictions for them is that they're more than likely going to be possibly a 7-win team. Maybe 6-6, 8-4. I think best case scenario, maybe 9-3. And here's my reason why. It's going to be year one. Year one with new places usually brings some struggles, some challenges to any coach in the country. And this is going to be Deion Sanders' first year on the Power 5 level. And now I understand some people may say, oh, well, it's the Pac-12. Deion Sanders was really good at JSU. And I understand that. But it's still going to be a transition for Deion from the FCS to Power 5. And that's not to disregard the SWAC conference, but I feel like that's something that anybody could really point out, as there's going to be some really good teams in the Pac-12 next season. And if you look at their 2023 schedule for Colorado, it's not easy. They have to play at TCU. They play Nebraska, who I understand also hasn't been good, but they did hire Matt Rule, who I do believe is a good college coach, even though on the NFL level, he wasn't exactly the best. They do play Colorado State, Arizona, Oregon State, Stanford, USC, who's likely going to be the best team in that conference next year if they hit the portal like everyone thinks they will, at Oregon, at UCLA, at Utah, one of the tougher environments in all of the Pac-12, and at Washington State. In my opinion, I think this schedule is really tough. It's going to be a true test. And I also feel like you have to keep in mind that this Colorado team in 2022 went 1-11. This isn't going to be some extremely easy fix where Colorado's instantly going to become 1-11 to 12-1 or undefeated going to the College Football Playoff. I do expect to see some struggles, but I do expect to see some big improvement throughout the season and have a big improvement from 1-11 in 2022 to possibly being a pretty good team in 2023 and one that's going to be going to a bowl game and could even pull some upset wins on some of the top Pac-12 teams in 2023. But I ultimately feel like you need to keep it realistic for year one under Deion Sanders at Colorado, when taking in fact that Colorado in 2022 was one of the worst teams in the nation. Well guys, if you made it this far in the video, drop something down in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on the Deion hire, and how do you think Deion's going to do at Colorado? And before you head out, remember to smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already. B. Kelly out.